What's up, King Cats? Welcome back to my channel. So today we are here for Q&A video. I asked for questions for this Q&A probably about a month ago, but here we are. We're doing it now. That's all that matters. So I want to spice things up a little bit, aka I want to multitask and do some skincare. So we're gonna do a face mask while we do this Q&A. It's like we're girlfriends and we're hanging out, having a little sleepover together. Luna is obviously having a sleepover. Her life is a constant sleepover. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today I'm going to be using the Henrikson cold plunge pore mask. I really like this just because it makes my face feel cold and tingly. I think it makes my skin look nice, but I really do like the cold tingliness. It's also a nice vibrant blue color, so let's do this. 910 plus 1 said, hi, I just wanted to say you look a lot brighter, happier, and leaner. So happy for you. Thank you so much. You guys have seriously been the most supportive this whole time, and I could not be more thankful for that. Like, y'all are some real ones. So Chelsea Stewart with an underscore asked, good nutrition textbooks / places to learn more. So trying to sift through a collegiate textbook to learn more about nutrition can be quite daunting, but there are some really awesome online resources out there. One of my favorites, they have a training and a nutrition edition, is the Muscle and Strength Pyramid books. They are ebooks, they are downloadable. They are actually coming out with new editions, I think around the new year, so you can either get them now or wait for the new editions, but these are some of the first books, since they're ebooks, that I purchased to educate myself on nutrition programming and training programming. And honestly, they've been so helpful, and they're so practical while also being educational and informative. So I would highly recommend those. I myself will definitely be purchasing the new editions when they come out, just because I learned so much from the first ones. So I'm gonna get the second ones. I'm gonna support that shit. Also, Chrissy's resources, her flexible dieting ebooks, I think it's called like just Flexible Dieting 2.0. She has an ebook on that, and it's been really helpful. Also following just educational people, so people that don't just post butt pictures but like also teach you things, is like a free resource to do that. So it's like, why wouldn't you do that? So people like Jeff Nippard and Stephanie Buttermore are two of my favorites in terms of being educational on YouTube. Also Paul Ravella and Lauren Conlin. They're both just super informative. Paul and Lauren also have a podcast together where they talk about a lot of informative things. So following people with credentials that give out good, solid, sound advice is also a really awesome place to start. A couple of other like fundamental books would be Starting Strength, and then How to Become a Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett, if you're interested in things like mobility and maintaining good movement and movement health, which we should all be concerned about those things. And then Mike Matthews has also come out with some good training books, but he does have a training book called Thinner, Leaner, Stronger. The women's one is. I don't love the name, obviously, but it is a fairly solid book when it comes to learning how to program, finding a good program to follow, all of those good happy things. And then also the best teacher is truly experience. So being your own experiment, so learning and then trying things out on yourself, giving it enough time to work, and just trying things. It's a great approach. I just answered one question for like 5 minutes. Wow. Dylan Jamie said, when do you want to compete again? I can't wait to watch you take the stage. I want to compete again when I have been in a good, healthy place to start a prep from for a while. Obviously, I would like for that to be as soon as possible, but I am trying to not put strict timelines on anything, because like point blank period, at this point, even just to be in a point where I could start a prep from healthily, I have a decent amount of body fat to lose. So it's kind of going to be a thing where I have to take it one little chunk at a time, and when I get to that place, then I can kind of say, hey, okay, let's try and develop a plan for a timeline for competing. But the first thing that I have to do is get to a place where I could start a competition prep journey from, if that makes sense. Oh, love looking like a Smurf. Whew. Kimberly XX Nicole said, what self-tanner do you use? Face and body, thanks in advance. So I use different ones for each one. For body, I use Bondi Sands or Bondi Sands. Sorry, I always say that wrong. It's my favorite self-tanner I've ever used. It doesn't make me orange. It just makes me like a nice bronze. So for me, with having olive skin, a lot of self-tanners that look more orange make me look super orange. So this one gives me more of like a brown, bronzy situation going on. And then for my face, I can't use just like, I can't just take Bondi Sands or Bondi Sands, sorry, fuck. And I can't just put that on my face because it makes me break out super bad. So I just use the Isle of Paradise tanning drops. I will pop a picture up here. I just use the green ones and I love them. Sarah.Christian89 said, not a question, but Christmas starts after Halloween, it's a fact, and I say you're fucking wrong. M_Milliner said, what is your fave thing about yourself? I love that question. That's so nice. I think we all need to focus on like the things we like about ourselves a little bit more, myself included, because we often focus on the things we don't like about ourselves. But I love that I don't give up. Like, I might go through some shit and I might bitch a little bit or a lot of bit, but I'm not going to give up. If it's something that I want, my bullheadedness can be a good thing and a bad thing, but at the end of the day, I think it's predominantly a good thing because I just don't give up on shit. Like, if I want it, I'm going after it and I'm going to relentlessly pursue it. So the fact that I don't give up on things, or to put less affectionately, that I'm bullheaded. This is a good tie-in. Megan V11 said, how are you able to stay so motivated to push through when you had all of those health issues? And the question cut off since so I can't see it. I did like the Instagram question thing. But I get like the gist of the question. Honestly, it was really freaking hard. There were a lot of times when I just wanted to give up, but I also knew there was like this little teeny tiny part of me that, and like it started out bigger and then like as things just got worse, it like got smaller and smaller and smaller, but there was always that part of me that was like, there's a better life out there for you and you deserve a better life and you deserve a happy life, one where you feel good, where you feel healthy, where you feel confident. So until you have that, don't quit. And I kind of said something to this effect in an Instagram caption the other day, but like, all you need is that teeny tiny little part of you that believes that you are meant for something more and something better. That's all you need, but you just have to be able to hold on to that with like an iron grip and just keep moving. Surround yourself with good people that love you, that lift you up when you're feeling really down, and just keep pursuing. It's not easy. There's gonna be days when you want to give up 100%. But you just can't do that to yourself. You just have to know that you are worth more than that and that you are better than that and that you were created and you're here to live a full, happy, abundant life, whatever that looks like for you. And you're the only person who can decide what that looks like for you. But if you don't have that, you're also the only person that can create that for yourself. So like, you have to believe that you're meant for that. And you also have to know that you're the only person that can give that to yourself. And then those two have to make a baby. And that's you not giving up. That was a cute little ear flip. Oh, look at your little ear. You're the best. Also, I have a dog because she got me through some really, really, really tough days. Didn't you, Luna? Yeah, I did. She's the best. Caitlin_Yoder said, importance of having your period. Oh, Luna. Your periods are really important, and I think it's important to note, like Victoria's mentioned this when she's been on the podcast before, but like a normal period looks different for everyone. So whatever your normal period looks like for you, that's okay, that's good. But having a healthy period isn't just like, oh hey, I'm fertile. It's also like, oh hey, my hormones are functioning normally, or at least relatively normally. Because your period only happens when a certain cascade of things all come together the way they're supposed to come together, and then you have a period. And there's so many different axes that like have to come together and be functioning harmoniously in order for that to happen as well. So like your HAT axis, your OAT axis, your HPA axis, there's like a lot of things that have to be working together effectively in order for you to have a period. So if you're not having a period, that means that any one connection point or any one branch in any one system could be off. So not having a cycle can be a sign of, or having an irregular cycle can be a sign of reproductive hormone dysfunction. It could be a sign of thyroid dysfunction. It could be a sign of low energy availability. It could be a sign of a lot of things that could be happening. So it's just a good indicator to you that your body has what it needs and is able to do what it needs to do. So that's why it's important. It's not just important for like, oh hey, I could have a baby if I wanted to. It's important for like, oh hey, my body's functioning the way it's supposed to. Like, women are just designed to have menstrual cycles. Whatever a normal menstrual cycle looks like for you, but it's just an important indicator of your overall health. This is a really taboo topic, but it's me. Shell Jones 91 said, opinion on steroid use for bikini, do you view it as being competitive or unnecessary? I view it as being whatever the athlete in question decides is best for them. I think that, I mean, steroid use happens in bodybuilding. Like, there's no two ways around it. Like, it just fucking happens. But it's not up to anyone else. Like, if you're in a tested federation and you use and you try to cover that up, then like, fuck you. And if you're also somebody that's like, oh, I'm natty, but you're not, then also like, fuck you. But if you're in a non-tested federation and it's a personal decision, an informed personal decision that you've made for yourself, you're the only person that can make that decision for yourself. No, it's nobody's job to tell you you're wrong for it, that you work less hard, any of those things, because it's a personal decision that you've made. So, do I think it's competitive or unnecessarily? Not necessarily either. Such a risky topic. It's such a taboo topic. But in my personal opinion, it's nobody else's business. It's a personal decision, and it's nobody else's place to judge you for that. Also, performance-enhancing drugs have been around since sports have been around, and actually birth control was one of the first performance-enhancing drugs ever. If you listen to one of my podcasts with Victoria, you would know that. But birth control is a steroid. So, ooh, More Sophia asked, how do you deal with feeling uncomfortable in your skin while working on your best self? I think this is an awesome question just because, and like, I fall into this too. Like, we as women, we put a lot of stock, or at least a lot of us do, a lot of stock in our appearance. And for me, working on my best self involved going through some shit that made me really uncomfortable with my appearance. And so sticking with myself through the storm for that was the ultimate act of self-love. The ultimate act of self-love there wouldn't have been losing 20-30 pounds. Like, I would have loved to have been able to do that, but my body just couldn't. Like, it literally could not. So the most loving thing that I could do for myself was try to find at least some marginal amount of peace in the fact that I was feeding my body adequately, feeding it what it needed, not overfeeding it, moving it, and just genuinely trying to care for it in the best way that I possibly could. And I'm gonna be straight up fucking honest. I was not very nice to my body all the time. Like, I was very, like, mentally, I was very frustrated with how it looked. I would get frustrated, I would cry, like, days and days and days at a time, just being so frustrated and not liking how I looked in clothes, like, not wanting to have people see me at the gym, like, getting really embarrassed whenever anybody would ask to take a picture with me. Like, all of those things were very real things. So, like, it wasn't a perfect thing whatsoever, but it's honestly just something that, like, I had to shut up and deal with. And that's honestly where I started turning to makeup a lot, was not because I wanted to, like, cover my face as much as I could, but because I generally like my face as it's covered in, like, fucking blue paint. But I generally like my face, so, and I love makeup, so it gave me an outlet and something that helped make me feel a little bit more confident. It helped me be more creative. It helped me just distract myself from the other frustrations I had with my appearance, and it, like, helped me channel it into something that I thought was fun and cool and enjoyable and that, like, I loved doing. So I was uncomfortable with my body, but I had to constantly remind myself, even if I would cry and bitch about it and, like, honestly be a pain in the butt to be around, I just had to remind myself that, like, kind of what I said before, like, you are meant for so much more than this. This is temporary. I know who you are. You're gonna figure this out. And there's other awesome things about you. Like, and this is really hard for me too, because again, as women, we place a lot of stock in our appearance, and especially as somebody that's a physique athlete, like, having that taken away from you, like, when you talk about the concept of athletic identity, it's like, it's hard. It's really freaking hard. And it was so difficult. But, like, that's also part of why I started turning more to coaching and less of, like, influencer type stuff. Was like, I was just like, I need to focus less on me, and, like, generating, like, real talk, generating income from, like, social media, because that would just stress me out, and generating income from my intellect and from how I can help people. So honestly, I kind of had to ignore it for a while. and not pretend that it didn't exist or that it wasn't something that bothered me, but try and just not focus on it. And I would still focus on it a lot. Don't get me freaking wrong. Like, please don't listen to this and think that I was like this super strong person throughout this whole thing and that I was super positive all the time and I was like, oh, this is okay because you're so much more than that. Like, no, I fucking struggled, dude. Like, it was a hard year. It's been a hard 2 years, but like this past year it tested me in every possible way. So yeah, don't think I was perfect throughout that process, please, because that would be a fucking lie, and I don't ever want to give that impression. But yeah, I just had to learn to focus on other things, and that's a lot easier said than done, but you gotta just try and just show up every day, do what you can, and like find confidence in the fact that you are pursuing that betterness for yourself. Like, I would get so frustrated going to like doctor's appointments and things like that and like trying to see a new specialist or get a new diagnosis or whatever it was, or getting a misdiagnosis or whatever it was. But like just trying to find peace in the fact that like a no or a this is not what it is, I would get super defeated. But it's like, okay, that's not what it was, at least I know what it's not. Let's try and figure out what it is. Man, that was a lot. Whew. Ann_G20 said, have you found any gray hairs? Because same. No, I don't know like what age people start getting gray hairs, but I'm 23, so I haven't started getting any gray hairs. I don't know if that's a normal age for getting gray hairs. Like, if you have gray hairs and you're 23, I'm not trying to insult you whatsoever. I just personally don't have any. One thing I do hope for though is my papa had, and my grandma on my other side had like snow white hair when they got old, and I really hope that I have snow white hair when I get old. Because like, can you imagine all of this just like pure white? Like, I would be the female Dumbledore, like female Gandalf, like the whole thing. I would live for that. I might just dye my hair white anyway. Like, probably not. Cass Foley said, what are your future plans after you graduate? I've gotten so many questions of what are you doing after you graduate? What are your career plans? Are you moving? Da 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 da. And my career plan, it's very, very simple. It's like not super exciting, but my career plans are to continue to grow the business that I currently have. So my coaching business, creating programs, creating resources for people like you that need help with nutrition and mindset and training, all of those things. But yeah, really growing the coaching business, getting back into stuff like YouTube and being more regular with the podcast. We'll see where career things take me in the future. You know, nothing is set in stone, but that's kind of the current plan right now. And I'm not moving out of Louisville. Grant lives in Columbus. I live here. I love Louisville. He loves Columbus. It's a 3-hour drive. It's not a terrible situation. So neither of us are moving, but I would love to find a house that has a fence, because literally my only goal in life, not only, but one of my biggest goals in life is to give this little nugget the life she deserves, which includes having a big fenced-in yard. So that is something, whether it's a rental or whether I purchase it, it would be a lot longer before I purchase a home. But I've been trying to find a rental home for us to live in for literally months, and it's impossible, at least in the part of Louisville that I want to live in, because there's certain parts of Louisville that I don't want to live in. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. It's nice to have like my mental, and obviously my actual time, but my mental space freed up, because I can actually like start, like I finished school last week, and this week, like yesterday, today, were the first days where I really just like felt like a switch of like being in my groove, of like being super jacked up and like having more just ideas flowing, things like that. So it's just nice to have that mental space open again and to feel that full energy, to be able to, like, I just have to divide my energy between fewer things. So the things that I do put my energy into now have more of my energy as a result of there being less things for me to give my energy to. It's like dividing a pie between 8 people and 3 people, if that makes sense. This is already pretty long, so we'll do one more. This is like a lighter hearted question. _JessBeth said, can you learn to sing, or is it a talent you are born with? I think there is some component of singing that is natural born. Like, I did not have any formal training when I was in 1st grade, literally when my music teacher like pulled me aside and was like, oh my gosh, this girl can sing. Like, I had no formal vocal training like at all. But if you watch people like Tristan Parodies, or I don't know how to say his last name, sorry, but like he literally coaches people on how to sing. Like, there's actual technical things that you can change, like where you place the sound, if you have it more in your nose or if you have it more back in your throat. like the shape of your vowels, like using your vocal cords. Like there are certain, and like learning tone and pitch and all of those things, like there's certain components of it that I fully believe that are teachable. So I don't think it's entirely one or the other. I think it's kind of similar to athletics, where you might have people that are just more naturally gifted, but even those that aren't necessarily naturally gifted can still be taught and can still succeed to a degree. So those are my thoughts. Anyway, this has been a long Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some perspective, enjoyed this little sit down chat. Again, it is really like awkward for me getting back into YouTube because I haven't been here in a minute, but I do just enjoy like sitting down in front of the camera again. Like I've been getting like excited to do it. So bear with me as I am on the learning curve of YouTube again. But anyway, love you guys so much. So does Luna. So do the llamas. There they are in all their glory. We love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, have a beautiful day. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, click the bell, all that stuff. If you wanna, no pressure, be your own person. I love you, and I'll talk to you next video. Bye. Luna, come here, come here. Luna, Luna, mom needs a thumbnail. Come here, come here, come here. Luna, come here. No. Can we please? Could we please do a thumbnail? No?